Metallica's self-titled fifth album, known to many fans as the Black Album, is notable for being a change in musical pace for the band. But on top of the album's more straightforward sound are lyrics that are more personal and reflective, courtesy of Metallica frontman James Hetfield. In the 80s, Metallica's lyrical subject matter dealt with themes such as religion, death, war, monsters, and injustice. And these were accompanied by a more aggressive thrash sound. But at the turn of the millennium, Metallica decided to pivot musically and lyrically. For the Black Album, Papa Het drew from many aspects of his personal life to write the song's lyrics, and while it was a complete 360, it worked. James has discussed the meaning behind the songs on the Black Album, shedding lights on the more introspective nature of its lyrics. So without further ado, here's Metallica's songs from the Black Album as explained by James Hetfield. Enter Sandman. The album's opening track is also one of Metallica's most popular songs, and it's almost impossible to attend a concert without this being played live. The lyrics to Enter Sandman pertain to nightmares that are experienced by children and the twisted imagery that comes with those. The titular Sandman is a fictional being in American folklore who enters bedrooms while people are sleeping and puts sand in their eyes. Interestingly, the song is one of the last on the album to have lyrics. James's original lyrics for the tracks were about a family with a dark secret and even alluded to crib death. He later changed it at the insistence of drummers Lars Ulrich and producer Bob Rock. Sad but true. The more reflective lyrics on the album start with this song, Sad But True. The record's second track is another of Metallica's most beloved songs and a fan favorite in concerts. According to James, the lyrics describe the battle between good and evil in all of us. It's like having a split personality that's much darker than one's normal personality, and how that dark side sometimes takes over during certain times in one's life, sometimes at the worst possible times. Picture the imagery of a person having an angel and a devil on their shoulder, where the angel represents a good conscience and the devil represents temptation and evil. The lyrics to Sad But True are essentially about that. Holier Than Thou. The title of the song itself should give an idea of what it's about. According to Papa Het, the lyrics to Holier Than Thou describe people who think too highly of themselves and think they're better than everyone else. The lyrics also mention how people take advantage of gossip to fuel their delusions of grandeur. The Unforgiven. Usually, the fourth track in a Metallica album is reserved for the slower, more somber ballads. The Black Album has two of those, and the first one, The Unforgiven, takes the fourth track. It contains one of the more introspective lyrics found on the album, as it paints the picture of an individual who struggled with being a slave all his life, but not in the sense that he was physically oppressed by captors or anything like that. According to James, The Unforgiven is the story of someone who lived his life trying to please everybody at the expense of his own happiness, and by the end, he comes to regret the things he wasn't able to do. Later, James would explain that he drew from his painful childhood while writing the song's lyrics. The strict Christian upbringing of his parents, his father leaving the family, and his mother struggling to take care of him and his sister contribute to the song's emotional weight. Wherever I May Roam. It's easy to read the lyrics to Wherever I May Roam and think it's a song about living a nomadic lifestyle. Roamer, wanderer, nomad, vagabond, call me what you will. So the pre-chorus goes, but James offers a deeper perspective to the song's lyrics. According to him, Wherever I May Roam is more than just a nomad song. It's about adapting to changes and making a home out of wherever life takes you. The road is basically a metaphor for whatever life brings, and by always being on this road, it means that one is not tied to a single place in life. In other words, Wherever I May Roam is about learning to make the best out of any situation. Don't Tread on Me. This song is titled after the motto of the Gadsden flag, which also has the same snake that is featured on the Black Album's cover. Don't Tread on Me finds Metallica showing their patriotic colors, although at first, many thought it was a pro-war song. James explains that the lyrics do not condone or promote war, but are more of an expression of American pride. He also stated that the song is a reversal of the anti-establishment themes found on their previous album, Injustice for All, whereas that album condemned the failures of the American system. Don't Tread on Me explores the flip side of that coin and aims to paint America as a great place and nation despite its faults. Through the Never. James explains that the lyrics of Through the Never are about the fear of the unknown. The lyrics mention the vastness of the universe, the limitations of human knowledge, and the quest for a purpose. Something that no one knows at the start, but has to be pursued nonetheless. It says that despite the wonders of the human mind, people see, feel, and know so little compared to the endless possibilities in the universe. Nothing else matters. For the album's second ballad, James gets in touch with his more sentimental side, more so than ever before. In terms of the composition and the lyrics, Nothing Else Matters is basically Metallica's version of Scorpion's Always Somewhere. James's lyrics for the song were dedicated for his significant other at the time. It was written when he felt homesick due to being constantly on the road, and it's kind of a love letter for his then-girlfriend. As such, the lyrics are about having feelings for another person and deeply caring for that special someone. It's the farthest that Metallica's gone from their usual subject matter up to that point. James even revealed that he was hesitant to present the song's demo to the band at first, as it was very different from what they were used to doing. However, when he did, his bandmates reacted positively, encouraging him to include it in the album. It turned out to be one of the band's most popular hits and a live favorite. Nothing Else Matters is a love song, plain and simple, and shows that Metallica can be sweet and tender when they want to. Of Wolf and Man. The ninth track off the Black Album has some parallels with Sad But True in terms of its lyrical subject matter. James explains that Of Wolf and Man discusses the similarities between wolf and man, as you can tell by the title, and how the animalistic side of man always lurks inside us waiting to be called. Or sometimes, it doesn't get called at all, it just shows up. The God That Failed. Once again, James draws from a painful event in his past for the lyrics to this track, resulting in one of the most personal songs in the album. In The God That Failed, Papa Head expresses his anger over the death of his mother. As mentioned before, James grew up in a household that strictly upheld the Christian faith. In fact, his parents clung so tightly to the faith that they didn't believe in modern medicine, something that James has struggled to understand. So when his mother got cancer, she refused treatment, firmly believing that her strong faith in God would help her recover. Sadly, it didn't, and she died. This didn't sit well with James, who believed that the outcome would have been different if his mother had agreed to seek medical help. It impacted his view on the faith, and the lyrics to The God That Failed translate his frustration over the whole thing. My Friend of Misery. On My Friend of Misery, James lashes out at complainers and people who exhibit the victim mentality. The lyrics talk about how some people would rather cry and moan than do something about their problems. You insist that the weight of the world should be on your shoulders, sings James, chastising those who find comfort in attracting pity from others. The Struggle Within. James considers the lyrics to the closing track on the album, The Struggle Within, as a companion piece to My Friend of Misery. The Metallica frontman says The Struggle Within is about depression and having to deal with those kinds of inner turmoil, which can fester over time and snowball into something that's much more difficult to handle. The Black Album represents a lyrical evolution for Metallica and James Hetfield, and is more grounded and personal when it comes to its subject matter. Many consider it a huge change at the time, but obviously the risk paid off, as the Black Album produced many of Metallica's most well-known songs and became the band's best-selling album.